The first time he pressed against me, I felt something inside me break, and I knew nothing in my life would ever be the same again. If you stay with me until the end, you'll understand why that single moment still follows me in my sleep. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. None of it was planned. I had always been careful. Careful with my heart. Careful with my space. Careful with the walls I built around myself after everything I had already survived. His name was Aman, quiet, observant, the kind of man who didn't speak much but somehow made you feel seen. I met him at a small office where I had just started working. I was new, nervous, trying to prove myself. He worked in the same department, 2 desks away. At first, we barely spoke. Just polite nods. A soft, good morning. A quick smile that disappeared as soon as it arrived. But I noticed him, the way he rolled up his sleeves when he was focused, the way he ran a hand through his hair when he was stressed, the way he looked at the floor when someone praised him, like he didn't believe he deserved it. I didn't mean to care. After a few weeks, we started having lunch together. It wasn't planned. One day the cafeteria was full, and he asked if he could sit across from me. His voice was calm, almost hesitant. I nodded. We ate in silence at first. Then he asked me about my hometown. I told him. He listened like it mattered. That's how it started. Small conversations. Shared coffee breaks. Walking out of the building at the same time, pretending it was coincidence. I hadn't told him much about my past, but he sensed it. One evening, while we were standing outside after work, he said softly, "You carry a lot." I laughed it off, but he wasn't wrong. I had loved once before, loved deeply, and I had been left in a way that made me question my own worth. Since then, I kept my distance from anything that felt too close. But Arman was patient. He never pushed, never rushed. He stood near me, but not too near. He asked questions, but never forced answers. And slowly, without realizing it, I started letting him in. The first time he touched my hand, it was accidental. We both reached for the same file. Our fingers brushed. I felt heat run through me so suddenly I pulled back. He looked at me, startled, then apologetic. "Sorry," he said quickly. "It's okay," I whispered, but it wasn't just okay. It stayed with me all night. Days passed, then weeks. The space between us grew smaller, not physically, but emotionally. He started walking me to my car. He remembered small things I told him. The way I liked my tea, the music I played when I worked, the fact that I hated thunderstorms. One night, it rained heavily. The office closed late. Most people had already left. The lights in the hallway were dim. Thunder shook the windows, and I tried to act calm, but I could feel my chest tightening. He noticed. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. "I'm fine," I lied. Another loud crack of thunder made me flinch. Before I could stop myself, I stepped closer to him. It was instinct, fear, memory. I don't even know. He didn't move away. We stood there in that quiet hallway, the rain hitting the windows, the air smelling like wet concrete. My heart was beating so loud I thought he could hear it. "It's just a storm," he said softly. I nodded. But I didn't step back. That was the first time I felt his warmth so close to me. The first time I noticed how steady his breathing was compared to mine. He slowly lifted his hand, hesitated for a second, then placed it lightly on my arm, not grabbing, not claiming, just there, and something inside me softened. From that night, everything changed. We started spending time outside of work, late evening walks, sitting in his car talking about nothing and everything. He told me about his childhood, about losing his father young, about how he learned to be strong because no one else would be strong for him. I saw the loneliness in him. It matched mine. One weekend, he invited me to his apartment to watch a movie. I said no at first. My heart was already too involved. I knew that stepping into his personal space would mean crossing a line I couldn't uncross, but I went. His apartment was simple, clean, quiet. The windows were slightly open, letting in cool air. We sat on the couch, not too close at first. The movie played, but I barely watched it. I was aware of every inch between us. Our shoulders touched. Neither of us moved. The air felt heavy, charged with something unspoken. He turned to look at me, and for a moment everything went silent. No movie, no traffic outside, just his eyes on mine. I don't want to scare you, he said quietly. You don't, I replied, though my voice trembled. He lifted his hand slowly, giving me time to pull away. I didn't. His fingers brushed my cheek. My skin burned where he touched me. My breathing became shallow. I could feel the walls I built around myself cracking. Then he leaned closer, and when he pressed against me, when his body closed that last bit of distance, I couldn't hold back. It wasn't just physical. It was emotional. It was every lonely night I had cried. Every time I told myself I didn't need anyone. Every time I convinced myself I was unlovable. His arms wrapped around me, firm but careful. My hands moved on their own, gripping his shirt, as if he might disappear. I buried my face against his chest, and I broke. Tears came before I even understood why. He froze for a second, then held me tighter. I've got you, he whispered. And that's when it hurt the most. Because I believed him. I cried in a way I hadn't cried in years. Not quiet tears. Not hidden pain. It was raw. It was shaking. It was everything I had kept inside finally spilling out. He didn't ask me to stop. He didn't tell me to calm down. He just stayed. His heartbeat was steady against my ear. His hands moved gently on my back. I felt safe, and that terrified me because safety means attachment. Attachment means risk. Risk means loss. When I finally pulled away, my face was wet, my eyes swollen. He looked at me like I was something fragile and precious at the same time. You don't have to be strong all the time, he said, but being strong was all I knew. That night, I went home confused. Part of me felt alive, another part felt exposed. I had let him see me at my weakest. Days after that were different, softer, more intense. We were no longer pretending. He held my hand openly. He kissed my forehead in the parking lot. His touch lingered longer. But so did my fear. I started overthinking. What if he leaves like the others? What if this is temporary? What if I'm just filling a space in his life? I didn't tell him these thoughts. Instead, I became distant. He noticed. You're pulling away, he said one evening. I'm not, I replied quickly, but I was. The closer he came, the more I stepped back. Not because I didn't want him, because I wanted him too much. One night, we argued. It wasn't loud. It was worse. Quiet disappointment. I can't keep guessing how you feel, he said. I don't know how to do this. I admitted. He looked at me with sadness I hadn't seen before. I'm not your past. I know, I whispered. But my past is still inside me. There was silence between us, heavy thick. Then he stepped closer. He didn't ask this time. He didn't hesitate. He pressed against me again, firm and certain, as if trying to anchor me to him. His forehead rested against mine. Stop running, he breathed, and I couldn't hold back. Not my tears, not my fear, not my love. I'm scared, I finally said. I am too, he replied. That was the moment I understood something. He wasn't strong because he wasn't afraid. He was strong because he stayed despite the fear. I wrapped my arms around him, not because I was breaking this time, but because I was choosing to risk, choosing to trust, choosing to let someone see all of me. Love didn't fix me overnight. It didn't erase my past. I still have days where doubt creeps in, days where I feel the urge to build walls again, but every time he pulls me close, every time he presses his hand against mine or rests his chin on my shoulder, I remember that night in the hallway. The rain against the windows, the moment I let myself fall apart. He pressed against me, and I couldn't hold back. Not my pain, not my truth, not my heart, and maybe that's what changed my life forever. If this story touched you, even a little, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.